It's Saturday, January 28th, 2023. I'm TC Kirkham, and this is the Kirkham Report. Hey all, TC Kirkham here, the Kirkham Report. Welcome, vinyl community. Got some interesting stuff today. So few things, not a lot, but I've got some stuff I want to show off and other things I want to talk about. And we've got a great spotlight for you as well. And I hope that you'll stick around as we get started right now. Out of the box this week, got a few things I've want to discuss. One thing I forgot about and a couple of other things. First up, my latest purchase from Don and Mary. It's not 45s for a change. They had some vintage records on sale. Records. I'm going to use that Dr. Evil quote lightly. And I decided to get them because I have a few already, and I've also gotten a few from Don in the 45s that I bought. But they just bring back childhood memories. And they still play. I haven't played them, but they do still play. And I will get around to playing them eventually. They never sound good, but you know, they're a part of my childhood. These are 3 cereal box records from the early 1970s. The first one is the Archies, one of several series. This one is Jingle Jangle, as far as I can tell from I think it's got a 3 on it. It's hard to see. The second one, I've got a couple of these already, and this person actually took the time to cut out around the actual silhouette rather than around the actual round shape. Bobby Sherman. This one is Little Woman, I think. Is that right? That's number 1. Yep, Little Woman. And a third, Archies. This was the first series they put out in, I think, 1969, maybe 1970. This doesn't actually have a label. I'm not sure what this one is, but we will find out when we play it. So, Don, thank you for these, and it's been a great deal of fun getting some of these back again. I had them from my childhood, you know. They were a big part of my childhood when I was a kid. Next up, I have an album that I forgot to talk about last week. I actually picked it up a couple of weeks ago. One thing that I've never been big on is owning other copies of albums I already own. But when I saw this was coming out on a colored vinyl, 180 gram anniversary edition, basically, it was being re-released, it's been remastered. I couldn't pass it up because it's one of my favorite albums of all time, and if not the favorite album of all time. I got a good price. I didn't find out about it until the day before it came out, and I was like, oh, it's limited release, I'm going to miss it. I really want this. Nope. Park Avenue CDs came through again. They always do. And I don't remember if I don't think I talked about it. I looked through other shows, and I'm like, I forgot to bring this up. This is the new reissue, Germany-made, of one of the best albums ever, Jerry Rafferty, City to City. This album contains his hits Baker Street and Right Down the Line. It is a 3-sided disc. The 4th side has an etching. Now, I was a bit disappointed that it's not a gatefold and that it didn't come with a download code. I wish they would have gone a little bit further with that. It's just both albums in one sleeve. But it is released on Parlophone on this wonderfully funky orange vinyl. And the first album. And here's the second album. And the second album, I don't know if I'll be able to get it to catch on camera, but the second album has a wonderful etching. I'm going to try and get it up so you can see it. I got to get the light right, otherwise it won't show up. No, it's not going to do well. I can't get it. But you can see the bits of etching there, and that is actually a portrait of Jerry Rafferty from the album cover. And it looks very cool. It looks very cool. I wish I could get the angle right so you could see it. There we go. A little bit of it. That's a little better. Sounds phenomenal. And I just... I was so happy to see this come out. Now, I have fallen into that trap recently of getting reissues like this because they are done on colored vinyl or because they are coming with special extras. And I have recently ordered something that I will be talking about when it comes out in April. But it is an album everybody in the vinyl community should have if they don't have. And it wasn't a very big hit when it came out in 2002, I think it was. And it should have been a lot bigger. But this album, it is one of my favorite albums ever. And thank you to Parlophone for reissuing it. Jerry would be very happy with this. Home and Dry is also on this album. Now, another thing I picked up this week, and I'm amazed that it's here already. When I have an album by a group or an artist that I love coming out, I typically order the CD. And now, if I can, I'll order the vinyl. And I love this. I actually showed the CD already. It came last week. And I'm like, is it available on vinyl? So I looked around. It didn't come out in the US on vinyl yet. It did come out in Europe on vinyl. And so I went looking around and realized, damn, if I'd gotten in earlier enough on this, I could have got an autographed copy. But I didn't realize it until just 2 days before its street date. And they still had it at a store in Denmark. And I looked at it and I'm like, this store does US pricing. The postage was even good. What I want to know is why it costs sometimes as much as $30 to send an album to Canada or to get an album from Canada. And I could spend less than $40 with postage included from Denmark. Canada will take weeks to get it to you. I got this one 6 days after I ordered it from freaking Denmark. This is the brand new Lucas Graham album. I am so happy to have this on vinyl. Yes, there's the boobage. Oh God. European release. This comes with a marvelous lyric sleeve. It's got all the photos of the band on the back, lyrics on the front, on this incredible pink vinyl to go with the pink album. That's what it's called. It also comes with whoops, dropped that. No, that's my slip. Lyrics are also here. Oh, these are the credits on the sleeve. I'm sorry, this is the lyric page. Now, I picked this up from the retailer iMusic out of Denmark. Here's the receipt. Total price, album and postage under $40. I have already ordered something else from iMusic. I am going to be using them a lot for European releases. I am glad I discovered them. Unfortunately, their newsletter is only in Danish, but it's pretty easy. They got photos and stuff, and I can go over, and they do have an English language part of their website. So I mean, for as much as I love this band, I am ecstatic to have it on vinyl. And it does include the track Hard Way, which, like the CD, which I showed the American edition of last week, Hard Way will only be included in the first pressings of both. It will be dropped from the second pressing of the album and the CD. I love these guys. And I know most people think of Lucas Forthammer, their lead singer, as Lucas Graham. The band's name is actually Lucas Graham, and Lucas is Lucas Forthammer. But I'm just so, I mean, I ordered it, literally, I ordered it on Wednesday of last week, and it was here Tuesday. I'm like, how the hell did they do that? And I didn't pay extra. I didn't pay for bonus ship. I just paid for straight shipping from Denmark. Under $40. Great, great value. iMusic, thank you so much. I wish I'd known earlier enough so I could have gotten an autograph copy, but now I do. I'm getting a newsletter. I'm keeping an eye, and I already ordered another thing, that the other thing I was talking about a few minutes ago. I ordered from them because I couldn't find it on any Canadian websites, and I couldn't find it on any American websites. iMusic already had it. I said, screw it. I'm going to order it now. Make sure I get it. And I'll talk about that when it comes out in April. But cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you so much, guys. And I don't know when it's coming out on vinyl in the U.S., but it ain't out yet. And that's out of the box this week. So, the American Song Contest Season 2 is presently in limbo. It was announced last week by the producers that they are at an impasse, although the discussions are still proceeding with NBC. The producers are interested in turning it more like Eurovision, as I've suggested they should have done with the first season. And NBC is holding to its, several weeks format and whatever. So it is not likely to stay on NBC. They are continuing negotiations, and they they're working through the Eurovision Song Contest, which is the sponsor of the American Song Contest, and they will begin negotiations with other entities if no agreement with NBC can be forthcoming. I really think they might want to consider keeping it around after the debacle that happened earlier this week on AGT's All Stars show, which I will talk about in the back pages. But there's reason for keeping it around. The American Song Contest, as I've said, did not do as well as it could have, although it did better than what was expected. And I think that it would be a better idea to format it more like Eurovision, all 1 week with 3 semifinals and a final, with the American countries and territories taking part, states and territories taking part in the 3 semifinals, not having any buys to the finals. It was fun to do. We enjoyed watching it immensely. I enjoyed doing the live show afterward immensely, even though nobody watched it till the next day. It was a fun thing, and I think it's too soon to give up on it. So hopefully, if I were NBC, I'd shift it to Peacock. I mean, Peacock is the current U.S. home of Eurovision. It may not be after this, but shift it to Peacock and run it the same way Eurovision does it. Do it 3 days, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday for the semifinals and Saturday for the final, and do it in the afternoon, like Eurovision does. In America, it airs in the afternoon. In Europe, it airs in the evening. But here in America, Eurovision, the semifinals and finals run beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern. And that's a great time slot for it. And maybe save the finals for an evening show. I don't know. But in any case, please continue to negotiate, NBC, because we want to see this show succeed as well as Eurovision has. And if you don't do well and Eurovision Canada explodes this summer, you're going to look like an idiot. So come on, NBC, get on the bandwagon, do it right, and let's make the American Song Contest a hit. Now, Eurovision. Eurovision's several things are coming up this week. This coming Monday the 31st, or is it Tuesday the 31st, they will be drawing the semifinal buys on that show, where they'll be dividing the countries into which semifinals they will be in. And also, coming up on February 7th, no less than 8 songs will be announced. There will be 8 national, I think there's 11 or 12 national finals, all on that one day, or announcements, and they will be coming up all that week. So far, we know the following. Albania will be represented by Albania and Familia Kamendi song Duje. It will be performed in Albanian. Belgium has elected Gustav, and Because of You. This is getting a lot of good buzz online. Cyprus has picked Andrew Lambro, song to be announced later. Israel, Noah Kirel and Unicorn. The Netherlands will be represented by Mia Nicolai and Dion Cooper, song to be announced shortly. And Slovenia, by their big hot band in Slovenia, Joker Out. It will be performed in Slovene. The song itself will be announced at a later date. You can keep up with everything coming up and see the current stuff if you check out Eurovision's YouTube channel or over on Eurovision.tv. I hope to see more of you get into Eurovision, because it is such a fun show to do. It's fun and campy and enjoyable, and a lot of good songs come out of it. Without Eurovision, I would have never discovered Michael Sispak, never discovered Daci Fryer, all these other artists I've loved, Netta, and so many more. It's a great thing, and I know my European viewers, I have several in UK and over there. I hope you guys will let me know what you're thinking of this year's Eurovision as it kind of comes together. Of course, Eurovision will be happening coming up in mid-May, and that is this week's Contest Fever update. This week's Spotlight, I want to talk about my friend Robert over at Robscure Music. He has put up a dynamite look at one of the vinyl community's favorite artists. And it's not who you think it is. Robscure Music posted a great video on the Partridge Family this morning, talking about why he loves it, playing snippets of 11 album tracks that most people don't really know. And it was dynamite. I'm a huge Partridge Family fan. I've said that before. 3 of their albums made my year-end lists on Vinyl Recall. And they're just a lot of fun. I don't know whether I could actually sit through the shows anymore. I've tried to watch some of them, and it's kind of difficult. But the music is still great. David Cassidy, Shirley Jones, and on 3 tracks on the debut album, The Ron Hicklin Singers. Really great early 70s pop, and they put out some great stuff. And Robert tells you why you should be listening to them. There's a lot of other vinyl community fans of the group. Doc Dacus is out there. Calico Silver, huge fan. Dr. October is a fan. I'm a fan. And if you're not familiar with the music and you like 70s sunshine pop, bubblegum pop, you got to check them out. And you should definitely go check out Robert's. I'm sorry, Robert. I keep calling you Rob because you're Robscure, and I know you're Robert. So, Robert, go check out Robert's video. I'll have a link to it in the show notes, and see why you should let the Partridge family's wonderful magic wash over you. And Robert, thank you for a great video. In the back pages this week, I'm going to talk about the pitfalls of being on a talent show and why sometimes it can come back to bite you on the ass for the judges on that show. Simon Cowell has never been one of my favorite people. Now, he knows music. He does produce great stuff. He has been responsible for getting some of these stars that have starred on America's Got Talent, various Got Talent franchises throughout the world, and X Factors throughout the world into better, pretty major contracts. One of the acts that appeared during the 9th season of AGT was a brother duo who played rock cello. Their names were Emil and Dariel Lyachevsky. I hope I pronounced that right, guys. I'm sorry if I missed it. Going under simply Emil and Dariel Rock Cellos. They produced an album on Pledge Music a few years ago that was dynamite. They continue to do YouTube stuff while working toward their future real careers as dentists. They are part of a family of dentists. Their grandfather was a classical cellist in a symphony, but everyone on their father's side has been in a dental profession, and they're following in those footsteps. They were invited to take part in America Got Talent All Stars this year. They appeared on Monday, and Simon went out of his way to be rude and obnoxious to them, calling their music boring, even though they did a version of a-ha's Take on Me that blew the audience away. They also were talking about the fact that they were doing it as a sideline, that it wasn't something that they were interested in making a career, because they did intend to be dentists. And Simon pretty much made fun of them for that choice of profession. Emil and Dariel went back and decided to call Simon out for his comments. Now, they've known about it for months. They taped this back in, I believe, November. And it was out there, but they waited until this week to issue their open letter to Simon about his callous and arrogant attitude about the world of dentistry. It was a very interesting read, and I will have a link to it in the show notes, and also to an article from Talent Recap explaining the controversy. The fact is, Emil and Dariel are two amazing musicians, but their desire to follow in their footsteps of being healthcare providers in the dentistry world is admirable. We need more people like that, and while music's loss will be dentistry's gain, they'll never completely stop playing music. They're going to be musicians the world over, I'm sure, as they still make personal appearances all the time, and they still do very well with it. But to knock them for what they chose as a profession as boring, and actually making the actions of stabbing your hand to wake yourself up, that was totally uncalled for, and Simon Cowell deserved to be called out for it. Simon's attitude towards certain acts is often, would we say, callous? And when you think of the number of acts that have appeared on a number of shows he's been associated with, including American Idol at one time and America's Got Talent, and to know that those stars that he disdained have become major stars in the industry, most notably the 8th place finishing Jennifer Hudson, who is now one of the youngest EGOT performers in history, having won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony already. And also violinist Lindsey Sterling, who became far more successful than her quarterfinal cut on America's Got Talent. We hardly think that Simon is perfect when it comes to choosing talent. That's become blatantly obvious from his disdain of real professions held by talented people who are now considered all-stars. I wouldn't blame Emil and Dariel if they thumbed their nose at ever appearing in any all-star capacity again, if that is their real opinion of them, because they are much better than AGT, its producers, or its haughty head judge ever could possibly imagine. And that's the back pages this week. That's going to do it for this week's Kirkham Report. I have a lot of other stuff going on, as you well know. I misranked this again because of work problems. I've actually blocked out a new scheduling so I can start recording all my stuff on the weekends and just post it during the week. Hopefully that'll work out and come into play in the next couple of weeks. We'll see. In any case, this week we will have great shows for you. This Monday, to the 30th, 6 p.m. live here on TKR Video Central. Dawn from Two Hip Chicks and I will be hosting our Finding Your Music Mojo. We will be doing live our friend Miss 80s Movies and Music over there, Beth, and her 2023 soundtrack tag. So please come over, give us your opinions of the soundtrack tag questions. There's 20 of them. Dawn and I will each be pulling our soundtracks out and bringing those to you, and that will be coming up Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, live. Be there. Also, join me on Tuesday for Influencers, Wednesday for Vinyl Recall, Thursday for Rank This, Friday, starting in February, for Label Nova, and Saturday for this show, and of course Sunday with the Radio Retro Countdown. All of those shows at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific Time, and my daily show, TC's Obscuria Vaults, every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. All the crazy stuff I'm about, and all the crazy stuff I hope to get you to be about as well. I hope you'll enjoy them. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, and if you have, thank you. I much appreciate it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you really like that, and please, please, please leave a comment. I love hearing from you. I love talking to you. I love making new friends, and I love finding new video channels to watch, even though I've got way too much to watch already. And I've made some great friends through the comment section, and I hope to continue to doing that. So please be sure to do that. If you got anything you'd like to see me talk about or do on any of my shows, feel free to leave a comment or write the email, drop me a line in that email in the show notes. And I did not have time to get the survey done. I will have the new survey I talked about last week up in the next week or so. Questions about this particular program and what you'd like to see on it in the future. And I'd really appreciate it if you'd take 5 minutes out of your time when it comes up and fill it out. It would really help me out. In any case, I hope you have a great upcoming week, and I'll see you next Saturday on this show, plus all throughout the week on the other stuff. I'm TC Kirkham, the Kirkham Report. Until next time, ciao, baby.